What's up, YouTube fam? Welcome back to another episode of DPAD's Daily. I have my personal cameraman on site, camera woman on site, holding the deer camera. How you doing?
Hello, everyone.
It's good, when I don't have to use the cell phone holder in the car or my tripod, and I have an actual person recording. That's always so cool. So it's Sunday afternoon, and we are in a bit of a food coma. We went for a super heavy brunch. It was at an Indian fast food type of a place. We had tea. We had what would you call it?
Yeah, some fried fritters are what we had, and we had something. What is it, like mixed vegetables? And you guys, lots of carbs. We just had lots of carbs, and now we're crashing.
We are crashing. Like lots of our food, it's really tasty, has nice spices, but I don't know if it's the healthiest food. Everything is high in carbs, high in fat, oily, and then of course we have a very strong sweet tooth, so we like dessert after that. So our Sunday ahead of this is looking pretty slow, I would say.
Yeah,
exactly.
We're gonna go home and we're gonna be little couch potatoes. We have some errands to catch up on. We might do some folding of the laundry that's been sitting there for let's not talk about how long.
We do laundry. Like I do laundry maybe every 3 or 4 days. But folding the clothes afterwards, for some reason, they just keep getting pushed further and further back. Now we have a pileup of 3 loads.
Oh my God.
Just sitting there, and now we're at a point where we're picking out clothes from that pile rather than from our hangers. So it's a pretty sad situation. So today we're determined to get the clothes back on the hanger and in the closet rather than on our reading nook in the bedroom.
Sometimes I think humanity has gotten so far. We have an invention for everything. Why do we not have an invention for folding clothes? Somebody patent this idea. Make it happen.
First world problems.
Seriously.
But no, we are on site at our Kavanagh duplexes. We have a big week coming up. I'll be doing what I think it'll be a weekly update video, basically. Depends, obviously, how much work is getting done. But this week is definitely a big one. We have our foundation going in. As you can see at the back, there's the hole. So we have our foundation concrete will be going in. We have our weeping tile guys coming. They'll be installing the sump in the basement. As you can see behind me, all the fence that we had on is all fallen on the ground. It's really sad to see, but it's been super windy last 2 or 3 days. And, yesterday it just gave up. It couldn't take any more wind load and just came down. It's rare for this to happen. The winds have to be really high because they have holes in them. The wind should pass by with no problems, but, they've fallen through. And this is way too much fence for me to come out here and put back up. I have had a back problem for many years, and lifting something, as heavy as a fence would not be recommended by my chiropractor or my doctor. So I have a good excuse. But I have let our install team know, so they'll be here tomorrow to put that fence back up, or at least come and help me out to do that. But I'm so happy, at least looking at it, I fell this side, on our side of the property, rather than falling onto the neighbor's home. Oh, yeah. That would be the worst. We put the fence in initially to care for the neighbor, and it would be just really bad if that same fence went and hit their home and damaged anything there. So I'm glad it fell on this side. Hey folks, so it's D-Day today. We're pouring our footings at the duplexes. We're doing the concrete, but Mother Nature has other plans, it seems. It's cloudy, it's cold, it's a good minus 10 degrees right now. So I'm here right now, as you can see behind me. I have some tarps here at our custom home site that we're just wrapping up. So I'm going to take these tarps with me, drop them off at the duplex. Our guys can cover our concrete once they're done pouring. It's only 7:30 in the morning right now. Our pour is for 1:30 in the afternoon. But yeah, the weather's not looking like it's going to improve anytime today or tomorrow. We got to improvise and take the best measures we possibly can and get the work done. So here we go, all loaded up. That's only 3 tarps. These are big ones, so I might have to make another trip later on to bring, I have 3 or 4 more here on site. Usually I rent a U-Haul to transport all the extra material, but today it was a bit of an emergency situation, so I had to use my own car. As you can tell, my car isn't made for jobs like this. I've been told by many friends and other sub-trades that it's time I get a truck. As a site supervisor, I must have a truck to transport some materials. So something I'm looking into, but I only have to make these trips maybe once or twice each project. So getting a truck for maybe 2 or 3 trips doesn't justify it just yet. Renting a U-Haul maybe costs me $100 for a day, and that's usually the better route. Especially with the current gas prices. I'm happy I don't have a truck. But here we go, we're all loaded up. It's really cold outside. I consulted with our concrete guys, you know, got their expert opinion on whether we should delay or like postpone the pour today, but they said we'll be okay. If it's around -5, you know, that's usually okay temperature to pour, as long as, you know, we cover it up with tarps, keep the heat of the concrete within itself, and, you know, so it stays a little bit warm. Just dropped off the tarps at site. You can see behind me, that's our cribbing package. Has the rebars, basically everything our concrete guys will need to set up. As you can see, they're already forming up the footings. You can really start seeing the border, the perimeter of the building. So this is our first garage, second garage, and that's our home and second home. So this is what our walls, concrete walls, will sit on. This is called the footings. They're 2 feet wide and will be soon filled with concrete. That's going to be our common wall in between. So these guys are working really fast. They've been here since early morning. These are called pad footings. So this is where you'll see later on, once we start building or in our framing stage, we'll have the metal posts sticking from the upper floor into the pads here. So these are the 3 pads. I'll take the most load of the upper floors, and we'll be resting on this. And here you can see that's our main drain line. So all our drains will be connected to that. Goes out here and drains into the main stormwater line. Yeah, it's a cold day, but our guys are confident we'll be able to pour. So all these things right now, the current prices, some of these things are prone to getting stolen. So I take a bunch of stuff and put it in my car on the first day. Well, this insulation, for example, this is for my electricians. Once the walls are up, they connect their main power service. They'll need it for that. These are straps. There's 3 boxes of straps, as you can see here. So this is our bracing once the walls go up. So I'll leave it in here. These get stolen quite often. And then the electrical ground plates are a hot commodity in this market. So I'm gonna keep some of that stuff, take it back home and put it in my garage until they need it here. But let's go make another trip. I'm gonna go home, I think, before going to site again. Grab a bite. I have to apply for a permit for the second duplex. We got my final piece of the puzzle that I needed before I can send it to the city. So I'm gonna go do that, and then we'll be back here and get ready for the pour. I'm just looking back right now, you know, I went home for maybe half hour, grabbed a snack, applied for a permit for a second duplex, and just looking back, you know, probably the bigger builders, the bigger companies probably have different departments for each of the things I'm doing today. Like, they probably have a site supervisor who's doing all these trips back and forth from sites, meeting with the concrete guys. They probably have a separate guy doing QC work at a home that we're finishing, and they definitely have a different department who is in the office applying for permits, getting pricing, finalizing contracts. But I'm doing all of that, and today is one of those days where I have things happening in all of those departments simultaneously, and I just have to juggle, prioritize. No complaints. I think we're still at a stage where I'm able to manage everything, but I think if I have, let's say, 10 or 15 homes under construction at the same time, this would be a challenge. And I think at that point we would probably look at hiring and getting some more help. I think most definitely our first, the way it's looking right now, our first person we would look at hiring when we're ready would be a construction supervisor who can, you know, go inspect day-to-day stuff, do some small items, you know, on their own, and that way at least it gives me some more time on the back end side of things, looking at business development, building relationships with other trades, developers, getting more land. But right now I'm fully exhausting my energy in managing our current projects and getting the new ones up and going. But it's part of the growing business phase. I'm loving every bit of it. I'm learning so much every day, and my whole intent behind doing these videos is just to share with you guys watching at home. If you are considering getting into a business for yourself, you may have to wear multiple different hats at the same time. It doesn't matter which industry you're starting a new business. Just be ready to put in the hard work. So we're back on site and we're all set for the pour. My concrete guys have finished setting up right on time as per schedule. The only thing missing in this whole picture is a concrete pump. They should have been here already. My first concrete truck should be coming any minute now. They're scheduled for 1:30 and it's already like 1:25, so it should be here any minute. The pump usually comes maybe 45 minutes in advance so they can set up. But I just got the confirmation from the dispatch company that the pump is also almost here. So we might have some delay starting it off, but we'll get through it. In the meantime though, as you can see, we're all prepped for the pour. Our rebars are in place right beside where they're supposed to go. They'll put them in as they're pouring. Oh, what is it that I hear right behind me? We have our concrete pump on site. Look at that. I'm definitely more relieved now to see the pump on site. Can't wait for that to start setting up. Our concrete truck should be here any minute now. So while I was doing my checks, as I was saying earlier, these 3 pads are going to take a significant amount of load of the house. Especially this one here, as shown on our drawings, is taking the most load out of these 3 pads. And these are supposed to be 10 inches deep. However, because the ground is frozen, the excavators, they only do a flat surface. And then when my guys come on site, the concrete guys, they try to do a couple more inches. They thought it was too frozen initially, but here we go. We're going to try to dig it a couple more inches to get more concrete in here so it can take a little bit more load. I think this guy will be able to get it done, as you can see here too. So now this will allow us to get more concrete in there and be able to take more load at this spot. Over there, our pump is still setting up. As you can see right behind him, our concrete trucks are here too. So it's gonna be go time any minute now. So here we have it, all said and done. It's still fresh. I can press on it. It's pretty spectacular how concrete works. Right now it's so fresh, you can easily, you know, step on it and squeeze it. But just one day, tomorrow, it's gonna be hard as concrete, and it can hold up, you know, tons and tons of weight. It becomes super heavy. You can't move it with your bare hands, even if you're super muscular. As you see, Chris is doing something called the keyway. I'll show you guys up close here. So it's like a 2-inch, I guess, cut in the concrete. So when we pour concrete for the walls, because that's going to be fresh concrete meeting with already settled concrete, that bonds, that keyway helps that new concrete and old concrete bond better in a way. As we can see, the rebars that were sitting beside the footings are now submerged in the concrete. So yeah, this was a very smooth and fast pour. It took them less than an hour to get it all done. Now we'll get all set for the walls. Maybe probably by early next week we'll be setting up for walls and pouring more concrete, and soon we'll be starting framing. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment below with some feedback if you saw a thing or two that I can improve on, or if I missed something that you want me to cover next time. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more regular content. This is just the beginning. Thank you.